Awesome. All right. Welcome everybody to our last weekly sync. Yay. We made it. So excited. I've been so excited all day because just the app looks so amazing and I'm just so excited for you to show it off. So this week I thought maybe we could share something that we're most proud of about the work that we've done for Collab Lab. So I'll start. I'll give an example. So I'm really proud of how I know I mentioned this before, but I'm really so excited and proud of how everyone was so great about giving each other credit for the work that was happening. That doesn't happen all of the time, and it's a really great quality to just lift everyone up and to share the glory and share victories. So that's what I'm really proud of. And I'm going to call on, I'll go with Matthew because you're right in the middle.
Sure. I guess I would say there's so many things I've been proud of this group for, but I'll go with communication. I don't think we even really had to like say, hey, like correspond on the threads, make sure it was just like done out the gate. And I don't want to steal anyone else's because like there's another one I was just thinking of, but I'll save that. But yeah, just how quickly everyone meshed well and communicated. It was all very efficient, and it really set everything up for success. And it just made this app really fly by seamlessly from our side. I know there's probably struggles like during the week, but it seemed very seamlessly. So yeah, communication, and that's one I'll go with. I'm most proud of. Oh, sorry, I almost went away. I'll go with Keely. I'll keep it mentor.
And Matthew, mine was actually communication as well. So there was one, we were interviewing a new member of my team this week. And one of the things we do for interviews is give the interviewee a PR and ask them to do a mock code review of that PR. And I was thinking about you all actually, because I was looking at some of the PRs this week, and I feel like all of your communication to each other on PRs is always so clear. It's so compassionate. You would all pass the code review interview with flying colors. Even in moments, I think there was one, Lauren, to give you credit, where you said, hey, I think we might be doing the same work. Can we have a quick chat and just make sure? And so calling out stuff like that, I've just been so impressed by the great code reviews and communications and PRs. So wanted to give you all a shout out for that. And I'll pass it over to Lauren. Lauren, you.
I think I'll go with, I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but integrity of the code. I feel like we could have achieved a lot of the functionality, and obviously you can always do it in many different ways, but I think we were pretty committed to doing it and trying our best to make it the best we could, and also like accessible or going, not just that you can do this, but can you do this well? So that was, I really got a lot of that out of that from this group. Quinn.
I would say, I guess the whole process of it's not integrating, but like using GitHub, I would say. I liked how well we organized ourselves, like in terms of writing PRs, in terms of code reviews, and just getting better at that as well. I think that's something that like I've never, on your own project, you just push straight to make like master or main or whatever. So like, I think like getting into that workflow and seeing how everybody works together with PRs or issues and stuff. Yeah. How about Tiana?
All right. I am really proud of, I'm kind of taking from Lauren B a little bit, but I'm really proud of how we all actually worked really well together, in the sense that we have all very different personalities and skill levels, and we just all were able to meet in the middle and help each other in whatever way possible, and that was really great. And then Kat.
Yeah, what else can I say? I think everybody's like covered a lot of it, but like to second like Lauren, you like not just doing things, but doing things the most right way that we could like imagine that we could do them, even if we weren't totally sure of how that was, and like putting in the time and the research to make sure that like the solutions that we were finding were like the most correct and like things that would work for us, like looking forward to, I think was like it for me.
Great. I'll add a little bit too, just and kind of building on Lauren and Kat, what you're saying. Like, I just feel like this group really took ownership of the app. You know, you like sometimes you kind of, you know, people like groups will kind of, they'll do the work and everything, but they don't feel like, you don't feel that kind of like, we really want to make it great. You know, like we're going to work together to do this thing. And you all came together as a team. You know, Tiana came on after the first week and like, I mean, just seamlessly kind of slotted right in, and you all just like the design system and all the things you did. I mean, it was it's really impressive. It was great work.
Awesome. Yeah, forward thinking. This group was so forward thinking. I was super impressed. It wasn't just like, oh my gosh, we got to do these 2 issues this week, but okay, let's look down the road and make sure that what we're setting up today is going to work for us in the future. So good. Okay, I shared more than one thing too. Okay. But you're so good. All right, wonderful. I'll pass it off to Keely because she is running demos today.
All right, awesome. I'm very excited for demos today. Would anybody like to start off and demo some of the stuff that they worked on?
I feel like I can go first because I have like the smallest one.
Go for it, Tiana. Thanks.
I need screen sharing.
I just did it. Sorry.
Cool.
I think we missed each other by a second.
Let's see here. All right. So I don't have an image of the old one for you, but this is what the app is looking like currently. What I worked on, and luckily, cohort member Lauren helped me with some blockers I was having kind of last minute because this week was really hard, I think, for like a couple of us, but like work for some reason was just like, I was just exhausted after work every day this week. But so Lauren helped me out a little bit, but we changed the color. I actually like manually made this divider because I tried to use Material UI divider and originally it worked. And then I don't know what happened when I brought in more code. All of a sudden it just would not work and it kept throwing crazy errors. And I was like, I'm not going to deal with this. And I actually found this like code in some like Stack Overflow thing. I'm not going to make it zoom in like I want it to. And the only thing that really annoys me about it, let's see if we can get down to it, is that it doesn't connect all the way, but you can like barely see that. I'm not going to be able to see it. But if you look at it, you'll see that it doesn't quite make it all the way to the bottom, and that's probably fine. It's probably because of the like bottom indicator. Either way, so we added just more style to it. So nothing crazy. And then I guess I can show my code. Can you still see my screen? Cool. Now I gotta think of what I did. I did try to pull in the color via the theme because wait, am I on the wrong page? Yes, I am. Because when they show you how to like bring in tabs from Material UI, they give you like an example of pulling in themes, but it like I couldn't get it working. And the thing that Lauren helped me figure out was that we could just change the color of what was already in like my app bar. It was on like whatever primary was before. So it was actually calling the theme. I didn't know it was doing that. And then, is this old? This might be, no, there it is. There's what my like styles, my border right to make a divider in there. But other than that, that's all I did. So
Nice. Thanks, Tiana. It looks great. Who would like to go next?
I can show some of mine. Sorry, I'm just trying, my terminal went away, so I'm just trying to make sure I can pull up my code fast. I know sometimes it's slow. So if anybody else has theirs up, you're welcome to go first. Okay, I'll go. So this week, let me just get this started so that you don't have to wait. I'll start with showing the product And I will say, part of the thing, so at the end, Quinn and I were trying to figure out how to do some of the styling for the app. And right now, we have it specifically set just for demo purposes, but we have a more responsive grid for later, because we're hoping to develop a desktop version and a mobile version. But anyway, I think the biggest thing that I did this week, I think all of us did a lot of little tweaking, but was to create an ad, like a copy modal and also a logout. So if you press copy, you can just press enter, and then it'll copy whatever is in this field, which is auto-populated with the current token. And I guess we already had it listed, but it just makes it a little bit more user-friendly. And then if you log out, it'll bring you back to it'll clear local storage, clear the token, bring you back to the welcome page, and then you can, hold on. I'm messing up my demo. Here you go. Copy, log out, and bring you back to the page. And something that's pretty cool then, see if I can get this to work. So we could have done this anyway, even without the logout feature, but now you can easily see how it would be nice to have two different lists, or how two people, you can easily share this with someone and edit in live time with each other. So that's pretty cool to be able to demonstrate that. And let's see, if in terms of the code, I found this, which I think uses these are built-in functions, I believe, with the browser. So this is how I actually built the copy function itself. And it's getting whatever is in the ID, the text field with the ID of share token. So I'm auto-populating that down here with the token itself. I suppose if someone were to edit the field, I didn't make it read-only, then they would copy whatever that was. But I wanted them to be able to also copy it with their cursor. So that's something to consider for future iterations. And the modals were built with dialogues, so material UI modals, which I guess, oh, sorry, one other thing before we switch to someone else. So I updated some of the notifications. So when you add it, but now we get a little alert over here that automatically goes away after 3 seconds. And then the same thing for if you try to add something that was already added, it'll just last for 3 seconds, and you can also click out of it if you want. And then if you go to the list and you want to delete something, we switched it to a modal. And I think that's, oh, and also the details is now a material UI modal, so that you can click into it really easily. So I think that's about everything. Yeah, are there any questions on this part?
Wow, nice job, Lauren. That is really impressive. I loved the way you use the built-in functions for copy. I hadn't seen that before. That was really neat. That was a neat discovery.
Yeah, it was pretty fun to play around with.
Awesome, great job. That was very impressive. All right, anyone else have anything they want to show?
Yeah, I'll go next. Let me share my screen. Awesome. So I think for this past week, most of what I did revolved around like styling some of the like HTML input or buttons that we had, and just making them like look like material UI components basically. And then also like spacing out certain pages and trying to make it look as even as possible, or I guess appealing to the eye instead of just like stuck at the top. And then fixes here and there, just like you see something, just like catching it and then submitting a PR to try and fix something. But well, that's also something. But anyway, let me definitely gotta fix that. But for now, yeah. So if let me see. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it's just like the elements that we're looking at right now, and just like spacing things out. I did add a fun loading indicator. I don't know if it'll show. You might catch a glimpse of it. Yeah.
Oh, oh, cool. I didn't see
Um,
that before. Cool.
yeah, because we just had like a little text thing loading at the top. But yeah, that was the majority of it. Yeah.
Did you do the helmet stuff, Quinn?
Oh yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So you can see like at the top. Let me clear local storage first. But when you first get to the page, you get I use Helmet to get to change the title tags in the head for based on what page you're on. So yeah, it tells you that your shopping list, or tell you that you're on the add-in screen. And then we also did, I think for the details modal, it'll show item details. So there's still a little more to play around here with that, but with like the modals and adding more like titles and to modal states. But yeah, actually, I can show that. The helmet was fun. It was also really easy to set up and use because all you have to do is we put it in here. I don't think we put it in this one, but yeah. So like for okay, so for the app page, we just put it in our index.html because that's the first one. That is the first like title tag that will appear, and then helmet basically takes the nested tags and it'll if there's a tag that's like children like deeper down in the tree, it'll based on like what's being rendered, it'll use that tag instead of the parent tags. So it's able to add like some content, just I guess for like screen readers. I guess you could like see or get an idea of like what the page is showing, and then the title depending on the page. So yeah, so it's different for every page. But yeah, it just makes it a little bit easier to see where you are in the app. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I think that's it. We didn't package away any like we didn't make like a button component to like abstract all buttons because that's kind of what Material UI is already doing. So I figured it would just be like a little bit too much to try and pass more props into just a button. But yeah, that's what I worked on this week.
I haven't seen this helmet thing before. So it basically just edits the title and the meta, one of the meta tags or something, or can it do more,
Yeah,
or is that
yeah.
really what it's designed to do?
I think I didn't get to test that out, but it looks like it can also handle tags that are outside of the body, so you can manipulate. Yeah, and it also works for server rendering, so I think you can use it that way too.
Huh.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I worked on this week. Yeah. Anyone going next? I guess.
Awesome, great job.
All good.
Yeah. Anything else that anybody else would like to show before we close up demos?
I was a little bit out of commission this week, but I made a little logo for our project. So that's my like addition to that. If you guys want to like see, I guess.
Yeah, I would love to.
Can you tell us how you made it?
Yeah, for sure. I can definitely show you. Let me just like open Figma real quick.
I really like the logo, and I think Kat and Quinn they were going back and forth with our names, so they're the witty, brilliant ones for that.
Masterminds.
I laughed so hard when Quinn came up with Cartvoyant. I couldn't stop giggling. Thank you so much for that. Okay, yeah, so ultimately to make this little bad boy, I have grabbed like all of the emojis from like Twitter that they use because they're super simple and flat, which is super awesome and nice. So I was able to get the one for the crystal ball, and it was already sort of in like the color scheme that we were planning on using, which was awesome. And then I moved over to the material design like icon kit that I also grabbed from Figma community, and grabbed the little shopping cart that they have. I think it's over in their actions, maybe. Yeah, I think it's like a variant on like this like add to shopping cart. So I was able to bring them both in, and then with the logo, because we're working with vectors, you're able to like update the placement, the sizing, and the coloring of like all of the tiny little elements, which makes it super convenient to like customize it, and then just like put it in the same frame so they're overlapping, and then we can like import it either as like a PDF or a like a PNG or like even an SVG, depending on like what we'd want to use it for. And like, yeah, also just like making sure it's super, super readable from like far away so you can figure out what it is like super important. So the Twitter icons are also great for that because they're just so flat and simple.
That's awesome. You know, one of the great things about progressive web apps, PWAs, is that you can install it like a regular app on your phone. So it was like coming up with this icon, was that so you would have a nice sort of desktop, or I guess that's what they call a home screen icon or something for your app? Is that where you use it?
Yeah, that, and also the predictive sort of nature of this app isn't explicitly apparent, especially like when you're going on the welcome screen. So having something that showed that like there was something like predictive and like psychic sort of solidified that like brand identity, I guess, that went with like Cartvoyant, so that we didn't have to have as much of a like description page of like what it does and why it has value. Like we're saying right here, like we can predict what's going to be in your cart without even having to like tell a user. So making sure that like all of these things are like verifying what the app is based on, sort of just like makes it a little bit easier for a user to understand like, oh, this is going to be predicting something.
That's great. Yeah, I love it.
This is awesome, Kat. I'm really impressed by how you used existing vector resources too to create an all vector logo. I actually did not know that Twitter offered their emojis as like a design system file. That's really cool.
I don't know if it's Twitter that like made them available, but like the Figma community ultimately has like just collected all of these resources over time and then like uploaded them once this became like a feature that was like available to everyone recently. So yeah, it's super, super great when you're just like, I don't want to have to go individually grab all of these icons or like try to get them from, I think there's like icon plugins, but then you aren't sure if like what you're getting is actually like the material UI icon and it's like going to go with your design like scheme. So yeah, just having these like go-to packs where like everything's organized like the same way it would be in your keyboard is like so convenient too.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for walking through that. All right. Everyone, great job. I want to pause for like a little round of applause just because the final app looks, hi Andrew. The final app looks really impressive. And I know you all have put in so much work over the past 2 months. So great job. I think you should be very proud of the final product. It's very impressive.
Seriously amazing. Yeah, really, really great.
Yep. And I want to say one more time, I know I said this last week, but the fact that the functionality just was so solid and you added all of this stuff over the last 2 weeks with Material UI and just nothing changed. Like all of the functionality just still is there. So it's really a testament to your really great work behind the scenes. So good job. Yay. All right. Let's go to retro. So Matthew's gonna run retro.
Yep. All right, so this is our fourth and final retro. I just dropped the link to the project board inside the chat, so you can grab it from there or from our Slack group. And it's gonna pretty much run this similar to what we've done the previous 3 weeks. I guess just the only extra thing is if you want to kind of comment on the program or the 8 weeks as a whole, feel free to do that. It doesn't just have to be the last 2 weeks. And then you also will notice there's a final column, and that's titled What's Next. And that's, you can mention what's next, what you want to do for the app. But that's also just what's next for you, and how, we can see how we can help with what you want to do in terms of job hunting or anything like that, interview prep. And so yeah, we're just kind of curious where you go from here. So we'll take, since there's an extra column, I think I'll say 10 minutes. If it looks like we've wrapped up under, we can always wrap early. But I'll say 10 minutes, which is 11:37 our time. So just 37 wherever you're at. And then we'll reconvene and I'll share my screen and we can go over them all. Sound good? Cool. All right. See you in 10 minutes. Alrighty. Let's see. Looks like we have all of the first couple. I'll just give it one more minute to see if anyone wants to add to what could be improved and what's next. Then we can get going. Keely, did you get your shoe back?
I did, thank you.
Yeah, I noticed Tiana's dog earlier. I've seen a lot of cats on laps in the last few months. But
yeah, he's been very needy all day.
Nice. Cool. Okay. Looks like everyone's back. I'll share my screen. Hopefully that can be seen all right. All right, so I will start from the left and work our way right. So we'll start with appreciations. So Kat, if you want to kick us off.
Yeah, for sure. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate everyone's ownership of the project and ability to do what needs to be done, and everyone being super understanding of everyone else's personal obligations for the last 8 weeks. There's been vacations and holidays and illnesses, whatever, jobs, and I think that we really all like banded together to be like, okay, cool. So like you've got this week, so I'll just like pick up the slack a little bit, which was really awesome. But more specifically, Lauren, you always strive to like for the best, and what needs to be done. So thanks for like all of your dedication. Quinn, appreciate you jumping on whatever needs to be done as well, and giving super thorough code reviews. And then Tiana, I love your positive attitude. Working with you is always so much fun. And it's such a pleasure. Like, thank you so much. And then to the mentors, thanks for making us feel so supported. It was great.
Nice. Yeah, those are great. Let's see. Who is this? This is go far. Lauren, why?
Okay, Kat, I really loved how picky you were. I know picky is not usually a good word, but I meant it in a positive way this time. And I think you really challenged me to be extremely thoughtful when I was coding. So, and I've noticed it in other projects as well. So I think I really appreciate that. And Tiana, I really appreciate how you jumped right in. It's not easy to just join a group after the start. So, you were all in, and that was really great. And also, I thought it was really cool how sometimes if you didn't know how we were going to get somewhere, you still kind of planned out where we were going, and that really helped us. That's what coding is like. So I think that it helped us plan out a really clear course of action. Quinn, I thought your code reviews were like particularly thoughtful and thorough, and you introduced me to some new cool tools and libraries like Helmet. So that also I feel like will carry over into other projects. Lauren B, thank you so much for your really thoughtful code reviews and encouragement. I learned a lot through those code reviews about accessibility. And Matthew, also, I really appreciated your very thorough code reviews and encouragement, like always the big arm symbol when we push something. And Keely, thank you for your really kind feedback during our meetings, and also your offer to do additional office hours during the week. That was really nice. And yeah, can't say enough good things. Just really, really happy to have been a part of this group.
Awesome. Thanks so much for all that. Yeah, Tiana, especially hopping in after week 1. I don't think we talked about that enough. That was really great. How quickly you blended in with everything. Let's go with Lauren B.
Yep. Let's see. I just want to say, Keely, you're just the best host of these weekly syncs. You're just always so polished and smooth, and everything just runs so smoothly. I love having you as host. Matthew, I always loved reading your code review as well. You always had just so many wonderful positive things to say and so much encouragement for the team. I really appreciated that. Lauren Y, you're so thoughtful and considerate, like amazing tech skills. I thought, especially the last 2 weeks, you really went above and beyond to sort of help steer everyone toward the finished product. I felt like there was a lot going on behind the scenes that you were doing, so I appreciated that. Quinn really set the bar for code review for the team. I mean, everyone did a great job, and Quinn, I thought led the way. And I think that all of us can learn something about how kind and helpful your code reviews are. Tiana, I want to reiterate, like, thank you so much for your courage, for just jumping in after everyone had already kind of gotten to know each other and gotten started. I appreciated your candor, and you always had the courage to say, hey, I'm not sure about this, which, like, it takes a lot of courage to do that, and it's really important because all of us feel that way sometimes, and not everyone has enough guts to, like, say, I don't really understand and know what's going on right now. Kat, I just love how much precision and thought you put into everything, and that you were always so forward thinking. I felt like you really had the project, like, planned out from, like, week 2 or 3. I felt like you knew exactly where the project was heading toward the end by very early in the project, and I think that you were a big part of that success. So, and you were so humble and helpful at the same time. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, definitely. I think I saw the new one pop in. Not sure. Sorry. I noticed the card moved a little bit. Let's.
I added some of the last few ones, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Let's
Yeah.
see. Right. Oh, there's at least one of them. Yeah, go for it, Quinn.
Yeah. I think just like going into the last week of the project, I was especially grateful for having the design. It just makes it so much easier to work with. So like just all the work that you did, Kat, to put the design together, and the logo as well. Just it was awesome to have that resource when finishing up this project. And then also thank you, Lauren, for like the final like the last like DPRs that we were working through last night. It was like it's kind of exciting. I don't know, kind of like, I mean, I've only done like one hackathon, but like I felt like that kind of environment where you're just like working through these things to like get the project to like so get some of those last PRs and issues finished. And then yeah, and then I think just I appreciate how open and willing everybody was to just jump into this project, and how everyone challenged each other to really work better and be better and in writing code, and learning about just new ways to use different libraries or some better coding patterns. So very grateful to receive everybody's information on that as well.
Great. Yeah, I've learned a lot from you all. In terms of Figma, I even started using Material UI a little bit, and I was kind of going back to what you all have done, and yeah, it's really cool. Let's see, Tiana.
Yeah. So I guess mine are kind of short and quick, but I am really, this kind of comes back to being really stoked on like my what went well, which is that everybody brought something to it. And like Kat, that was working with Figma and just like other, even like some of your code functions, just how you code in general, like you're so creative, and I appreciate all the work you put into creating our design and making everything look so good. Quinn, everybody's really smart. Quinn, you're really good at problem solving and like working with me like to figure things out. That was fantastic. And Lauren, again, also super smart, super patient, and like I think I said at the yeah, any company would be so privileged to have any of you guys work for them. And to my mentors, I really appreciate all the support and like push in the right direction. Kind of something that was brought up is like me being able to say like I don't understand what's happening, or like I can make it halfway through a thought and I can't get it all the way through, and just getting a push in the right direction and like validation that I'm not completely lost as I feel like I am.
Awesome. Yeah, agreed with that. Any company would be lucky to have you all. And if I could help, and I'm sure the mentors as well, with anything, LinkedIn reviews, anything like that, I'd be happy to help with those. Yeah, mine were kind of in general, but yeah, just thank you overall. It just really has been a pleasure. And it's been really, really cool watching create this app, which should 100% go on all of your portfolios and resumes ASAP, because this is really impressive. And then just thank you, Lauren and Keely, just being great mentors. And I felt like we really balanced each other out. If one person was kind of not able to do something that week, the other would chip in, and it was just a great workflow. And then Andrew, just thank you for founding this program and bringing me in back in January, I think it's been now. Yeah, there's a few more down here. Keely?
Yeah, just want to echo everything that's been said so far. I think this is a very, very talented group of engineers, and it's been a real pleasure to work with you over the past 2 months. And just want to say the final app looks so good, and the quality of the code is so good. Lauren and Kat, to the point you made earlier, I think you should be very, very proud of the code quality that you have in there. And so as you are job hunting or whatever is next for you, I would be very proud to show off the code that you all have written. So just want to give you a huge, huge thank you for all of the work that you put in.
Definitely. Andrew?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, none of you have to be here. Like when we get to this point of the teams and it's like, wait, they all just like gave all this time to each other. I mean, you know, you're not giving the time to me, you're giving all this to each other. And I just want to just thank you for, I mean, you threw yourselves into this, and it's just, you know, you're so engaged and so creative, and you really did go above and beyond. I mean, you really owned the app, like I talked about earlier. And the mentor group, you're just, it's an amazing group of mentors. You know, Keely, I was on the call when you gave your learning module, and I was like, that's exactly how I would have done that. I was just like, okay, this group is fine. I don't need, you know. So yeah, just the whole thing was just really stellar. So great job. Thank you for everything you've all put into it.
Definitely. And then Quinn, looks like you have a few more down here. Did you cover these, sorry, already, or when you were in your previous one?
Yeah.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
No worries. They went to the bottom. I thought the new ones went to the top. That's why I was scrolling up earlier. Anyway, let's move on to the what went well. And so Quinn, you have the first one.
I think this kind of goes hand in hand with the appreciation I had. I mean, we all really took ownership of this project, I think. And I think that knowing that, you know, each of us really wouldn't, each of us knew that, like, you know, at the end of the day, like, one of us, we can depend on each other to take ownership of the project, any one of us. So I think that was an awesome feeling. You know, you really feel like you have a safety net. You don't feel like, I don't know, like you have to just be slogging away. I think, you know, just being able to trust everybody and knowing that everybody has such a good handle on just doing what we did, doing all the code. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, it's critical. Lauren, you?
This was more a comment of just the past 2 weeks, but I think it was really helpful once we made some decisions together for the styling library, and then Kat with the design, the Figma. It just really helped us, as Quinn said, to be efficient at the end, and we could work on our own time. But in general, sorry, getting choked up. No, but I think what really helped us in general too is that we had 4. Like not even talking about the mentors, but the participants, I think, were equally committed. So I've been in group projects before where, you know, you're like the only one working and it really is awful. And that was never the case here. I felt like everyone was really giving an equal effort. So that I think that's what made this particular group very successful. And of course, the mentors were really supportive. So
Great. And Lauren B?
Yep. Yeah, I want to second what you both said. I feel like you all could trust each other really well to like produce good code quality and to follow through. I thought that really came across in your work together. Great support of one another. I think the app looks fantastic. It looks so gorgeous. Of course, fantastic communication and understanding of where everyone was like during the week, who was having a rough week or who needed more support, et cetera, et cetera. You really had each other's backs, and great collaboration, just wonderful work.
Agreed. Keely?
have a more serious one further down, but just wanted to shout this out. I love the name and the logo. I think it's so charming. And I was following the Slack thread where you all were discussing possible names, and that was such a joy to read. There were some really funny candidates in there. So just wanted to shout out. I really love the name and logo.
Nice. Yeah, I almost chimed in because I love puns like way too much. My fiance gets really annoyed by them all. But Cartmoint I couldn't top that. Tiana?
Oh, this was kind of brought up already, but like our communication and workload, like was said, but like just that if somebody wasn't able to take on as much or was having a rougher week, there was other people to step in and like take on that workload. And there was, as far as I can tell, no complaining about it. It was just us like just naturally balancing out as we went, and I thought that was really great.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, mine was what didn't go well. All these have been covered, but just great I mean, for 2 months, just great communication and hard work. That's a long time. But really just stuck in there every week and just we're consistent and yeah. But yeah, all these code reviews, forward thinking for issues, front loading the work early in the week, just really did a great consistent job. And Keely, here's one of your more serious ones.
Yeah, I know. So communication has come up again and again, but I really think it's worth highlighting. You know, I've had the pleasure of working on a few different engineering teams, and you'll sometimes have people that are very strong technically, but aren't always strong communicators. And I just really want to shout out, I think that the communication that you all had as a group is really on par or above some professional senior engineers that I've worked with. So you should be really proud of the communication skills that you have. I'm not just raising each other up, but you know, when you had to have harder conversations or disagreed with a piece of code, I think you handled that with a lot of grace and professionalism. So a lot of props.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. And then Andrew, last one for this call.
Yeah. I love that call out, Keely, because that is it's one of the hardest things about working in a group is figuring out how to disagree about things and do that in a way that's respectful and gets you to a good resolution. And if you were able to do that, I mean, yeah, that's something that, you know, like you'll learn the technical stuff over time, but if you have the ability to be like an amazing team member like that, it just means that your ceiling and where you can go in your career is really high. So that's awesome. So you finished the app, which by itself is an accomplishment, but the app that you built is, I mean, it's beautiful, clever, functional, accessible, just the thought and care that went into it. I mean, it's honestly like one of the best that's any group has ever done. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's fantastic. It's a testament both to your skills as individuals, but also just the way that you work together. So amazing work. So, you know, I was on a call earlier or I don't know what I noticed, but there's something early in the project where I really noticed how you all, I think somebody said this earlier, like just shared credit with each other. And I think it might've been around the time, it was actually, oh yeah, it was when Tiana came on. And Quinn, you said something about it was Gabby who was here before Tiana, right? Like the work that in that first week, and you gave her credit even though she wasn't even here anymore. And I was like, oh, this team is they're going to be fine. This is great. They're just so giving and kind of sharing that credit and stuff. So, and plus, like this summer was just terrible on so many levels, and you still did the work and you still supported each other and all these things. So, yeah, it's just can't say enough good things about everything you've done. So that went well.
Yeah. Well, I've got to find the positives in these times. Yeah, seriously. Having the focus to stay with this project, with everything that's going on. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move over to what could be improved. And so we'll start with Kat.
Sorry, I like lost the controls for a second there. I know something that like this week highlighted is that like I have trouble like admitting when I can't work. So I kept like just telling everyone like, yeah, I'm working on it. And like I had gotten a lot done and sort of like hit a point where I was just like not feeling great. So I should have let you guys know earlier in the week instead of like trying to have more pride about it. So I'm sorry if I left anyone scrambling, and thank you so much for like picking up all of that extra work that I put on your plates, especially like Lauren, I saw that you had done the modal. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. Yeah, I know Tiana even mentioned it. It can be really hard to ask for help when you're in the middle of it. So thanks for being vulnerable about that. Quinn?
Yeah, so I think there's definitely some like, I think a lot of it was just mostly like inline styling stuff, but there was just some stuff that I was like, man, I if I had 2 more days, could really pick some of this stuff. So that was big. And also I just thought of something. Is it fine if I add to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that I definitely felt like I could have done a better job this week. Giving everyone like notice of what I might have been working on, because there were a couple times where I felt like I grabbed some things that seemed minute to me or maybe little, like, but definitely should have alerted people. I think I may have taken too much. What's the word for it? Too much. I don't know if it's control, but just done a lot more, and we definitely could have doled some PRs and stuff out amongst everybody better. So I do want to apologize for that. I definitely, thinking back, there's definitely work that I could have put, like, let everybody have a stab at. So I think going forward in the future, that's one of the things to really improve for myself at least.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it can be really easy just to get in your own world with everything, but yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, for me, I guess improved overall. Maybe we could have started office hours earlier. That seemed like they were helpful a couple times we did them. And I know sometimes in those office hours, things come up that you weren't even thinking of, and it can give new ideas, and people can share information that you might not have otherwise gotten. That's really all I could think of. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot to be improved with this one. So, Lauren, you?
This isn't really a criticism at all of our group, but knowing now how much our potential, I wish we had started a little earlier, because I know in the very beginning there was, maybe 1 or 2 weeks where it didn't take a full 5 hours. We were able to finish some of the tasks early. So I think if we had anticipated some additional things we wanted to add, we could have even taken this app like one step further. So yeah, but no, I think everything went really well.
Nice. Yeah. The problem of being too good. Lauren B.
Yeah, you're too good. Everyone is too good. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'll second what you said, Matthew. I think that we could have started office hours earlier during the project. I think like for myself as a mentor, I was really just so surprised at the quality, like the high level that you all came in with, because that hadn't always been the case in the past. You were all so capable right away that you really needed something different from mentors than what mentors were doing in the past. So that's something that I learned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tiana?
I'm really bad at like negative critiques. I guess it's not like a negative, but what could we do better? But I because again, I jumped into this with like no expectations. So I was like, I don't know how things could be better. So yeah, I've got nothing.
Sounds good. Keely, last one for this column.
Yeah, this is just a small one, and I kind of own this. But in our previous retros, you all had mentioned wanting to spend time on a couple of things. So Quinn, I know you were interested in testing. I mean, I think somebody else had mentioned wanting to practice like more advanced Git, like rebasing and things. And we didn't really have time or make the time to cover those things, which I feel bad about. So just making sure that we take the time to cover some of the things that you all requested in retros.
For sure. All right, and then I am conscious of the time, but I would love to hear what everyone has going on next. So if everyone's okay with another 5-10 minutes, we can go through this one, what's next column as well.
So I put in the chat, but if I need to jump over the TCL-10. So if everybody's okay with it, I'd like to jump the queue.
Yeah,
and just go first. I think mine might be at the bottom, but
there we are. Right
Yeah, so just what's next sort of for TCL. So as we're wrapping up August, but just in a few days on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to kick off the October cohort. So we're going to have 4 teams, and we're going to have 2 teams in North America, one that's a Latin America team running in Spanish, and then we're going to have a team that's Europe and Africa. So it's going to be just so cool to have people on 4 different continents working on the project. Super excited about that. Next year, we're talking about ways that we can scale up even kind of beyond, like currently we're kind of constrained by the capacity of a few key people in the group. And so we're trying to figure out how can we make this so that, somebody in, whatever part of the world wants to run a project, and that they can get enough support that they can do this successfully. Because there are whole parts, it's probably 10 or 12 time zones that we're not going to have ever operated in before. So hopefully at this time next year, there'll be teams running all over the world autonomously. So one thing I do want to say is that if we're not connected on LinkedIn already, please connect with me. The whole point of this, everything we're doing here, is that you all get jobs in tech. You get established in tech, and you kind of are off and running. So it doesn't end here. This is kind of the beginning. We're connected now. I feel like I know all of you to some degree, and so I have no qualms about just cold emailing the CEO of the company that you're looking at or something, to just say hey, you know what? I know this person, and they'd be great. So whatever help and support you need as you're trying to get a job, just let me know, and I'll be in there fighting for you. So thank you again for everything you've done over the last 8 weeks. It's been amazing. I mean, this app is just, I already had DM Stacy, you got to watch their demos from this week, because this app is chef's kiss. It's all awesome. So I'm going to drop, but thanks so much, and we'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you, Andrew.
Yep. Bye.
Alrighty. Let's go, Kat.
Yeah, for sure. So I got a Shopify course from Super High that I'm starting this week, which is awesome. Yeah, my best friend needs a portfolio website that's also a shop. So I figured Shopify is the best way to do that. And also found the design of everyday things on my shelf. I think it was Michelle, whose chat we attended on Wednesday, who had mentioned it, and it's there, and I think that'll be really helpful. So that's what's up next for me. And then Lauren?
Yeah, so I accepted my offer, and I start in October. Thank you. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, my team is really small, and I like them a lot, but because they're small, there's, I know that there's so much more to learn from other mentors here. So I'd love to continue with Collab Lab somehow, as an assistant mentor or something. And also I really liked working with all of you. So if you want to explore, for instance, I think Firebase is pretty new to most of us, but if you guys are interested in either working on this app a little more or something else, I find these extra projects really fun. So I'm totally open to do more with you guys.
That's so cool. Congrats on the job. What's the job?
I work at it's at a place called Data Society. It's pretty small, but I'm in a team of 6 software engineers, and they started as a company that offers courses in data science to companies, but now they're starting consulting projects. So I've already got to work on 2 projects, which is pretty cool. And what's really interesting is this week we had a government sprint with another company, where basically within a week we had to build a prototype app, and next week we have to do the same thing with a different prompt, and then we show all these samples. Well, it's preparation for us to do an actual test by the government in 3 weeks, but then we also have these samples we can show them too. So that's really interesting. 1 week, here you go, what can you build?
Cool. Lauren.
That trial by fire. That's really cool. All right, let's go with Lauren B.
Yes. Oh, so Lauren Y, I know for sure that you're on their radar for assistant mentor. And so this goes out to everyone. If you ever want to be more involved in Collab Lab, just let Andrew know that you'd be interested in being an assistant mentor. I know as Collab Lab continues to grow, that mentors really are our biggest need, for sure. So if you're interested, get in touch with Andrew. He'd be delighted to have you. So to reiterate what Andrew was saying, please don't be a stranger. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll throw up my social media links in the TCL-10 channel. Know that I'm available to like do recommendations or to like help you vet a company or to like work, et cetera, whatever you need. Please DM me in Slack and or connect in public channels in Collab Lab Slack, because there are lots of people here that are there to help you in your career. That's it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's slightly off topic, but a lot of cities have their own. I mean, obviously, stay involved with Collab Lab, but for jobs and stuff, there's a lot of different Slack groups in different communities. I'm part of a few in Portland, and that has really helped me with references for jobs. So it's something to think about. And Tiana?
This is going to be my last week of work, and since this is ending, I'm starting to slowly learning about the new role I'm taking on by taking like WordPress tutorials and just trying to like figure out what I'm supposed to be doing because I've never messed with it, which means that I'm probably going to be on the TCL page being like, hey, who's worked with WordPress? I don't know what the hell's happening. And then also because I love being in debt, I was looking at maybe going back to school because my partner is, and I was like, that sounds like a great idea. We should both do it. But I'm looking at going for an associate's degree in cybersecurity.
I think that one would be worth the debt for. I don't know. That sounds like a really cool topic. Let's see. I got through to the next stage for a job that I had an interview for last week. And so I've been working on a take-home assignment for it. Probably doing too much for it, but I want it to be really, really good because I want the job really bad. So that has been basically this weekend. And then besides that, whether I get it or not, just continuing to do coding challenges and take tutorials and whatnot. And then I do also have some books that I'm really good at starting like the first 50 pages and then I never pick it up again. So I need to start finishing books. So I might do some of that. And then Andrew already read his. And the last one is Quinn.
I think I'm looking forward to fixing some older projects that I haven't touched in months, and just getting them as current as possible. And as a possibility, that a friend of mine will be able to offer me some contract work later in October. So I'm also looking forward to that, and kind of getting me back into the swing of like doing the job search. So yeah, excited for that.
Awesome. Well, that was a lot. Thank you, everyone, for all the feedback. And I'll stop sharing my screen. Yeah, that was really great. I did almost get emotional a couple times. Not gonna lie. I guess I'll pass it over to the other mentors. Final thoughts.
Yeah. I just want to thank everyone. Gosh, I want to thank everyone for really, like, this has just been the best cohort, honestly, just so supportive of one another. And it's like so skilled. I mean, it's great to be skilled, but just collaborating so well together and wonderful communication and just being there for each other. And like the trust was so high. I'm just really impressed with all of your work. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm just so proud of the work that you did. I'm so amazed by you all. And then please don't be a stranger, please. Like just know that Collab Lab is here for you. And the whole point is to build this community of people that can be there for each other and to be welcoming for everyone in the tech space. So just know that you all have a place in tech, and you all have a place always at Collab Lab. That's it.
Yeah, and I think I've mentioned this before, but just because the program's over, and you can definitely still work on the app and definitely still work with each other and make the app as good as you want it to be. Yeah.
Yeah. just echoing what Matthew and Lauren said, you all have been amazing to work with. I'm so excited to keep working with you in the Collab Lab Slack. And I think Matthew had mentioned this before, but as you move on to your next thing, if you ever need a reference, if you ever need anything like that, please reach out to us. I know I would give all 4 of you a reference in a heartbeat. So yeah, please, please, please use us as resources if we can help you at all.
Is it actually okay if we, can we all give each other, like, the LinkedIn things? I just have found I always forget to ask people up front for references or reviews, and then you forget details several months later. So maybe if we could all just do that for each other sooner, then we'll remember the very specific details. I don't know if you mentors would like it as mentors.
Sure, that would be great. But I'll make sure to go in and give them for each of you this weekend.
Yeah.
If all 4 of you are okay with that, I'll go in and give them today, if that's okay.
Yeah, I would like that. And also, do you guys know if we do want to continue the project, how long the Firebase is set up, or if we can transfer ownership or something?
That is a good question. It's open for a while, but ask Andrew. He'll know. In fact, I'll post a message in TCL-10 and ping him in on it, because it's not forever. Because I know previous cohorts have found out, oh, hey, Firebase all of a sudden doesn't exist for us anymore. So it's not forever, but it's at least 2 or 3 weeks, my recollection. But I'll ask Andrew.
Yeah, double check. I think ours lasted a while, but maybe with the amount of cohorts joining, it's decreased. But I think ours was up for longer than I expected, but it totally could be different now.
Yeah. All right. This is it. All right. Take care, everyone. I'm so amazed by this group. Good luck. Please don't be a stranger, please. And I'll put my links in TCL-10. And great job. Round of applause. Great job, everybody.
Everyone.
All right.
Thank
It's
you.
good timing
Thanks,
because my
everyone.
computer's dying.
Okay. Take care.
All right. Bye, everyone.